Warhammer friends, this is Remington Steele, and I've just come off having a pretty cool Universal Battle game with Andy 2D6, where I took 2,400 points worth of Dark Elves against 2,400 points of his smelly, stunty little Dwarves. And what I want to do in this video, because people have been begging me, not begging me, but asking me for more content on my channel, and I completely agree. I really should do a bit more in terms of putting in more than I take out. But I have to say, the last 3 or 4 months there's so much being put out there in content. I'm absorbing it all. I'm actually watching all this stuff and still reading the last chapter now of Nagash. That it's I don't know. I've not felt knowledgeable enough, if you like, to put things out there a bit more. But I want to try and do that more, and it starts now. And so what I want to do, I want to go over my Dark Elf list with you and tell you some of the pros and cons, because I didn't take a tournament list, I didn't take a net list. I just I took a list based on models that I've got, and if you don't know me by now, I just buy models because I think they look good, and I paint them up real nice. I don't care if they're strong in the game at the point of sale. Okay, so I've had this Dark Elf army nearly finished, and I've been wanting to try it out, and this has been my first opportunity to do it. Well, I did it virtually, and so let me run through this list. As a Lord, I chose a Supreme Sorceress on a Dark Pegasus, a level 4 on Dark Magic, and I gave her what was it? I gave her this magic thing. What's it called? The Cloak of Twilight, which proved quite handy. And I'll tell you what happened in the battle. She flew forward, cast a couple of spells, killed a couple of people with Doom Bolt, and basically it got the Pegasus got shot down, and then she ended up joining a unit. So that was kind of a bit pointless. Then the next one I've got is I chose I got a 30 Blackguard unit of 30 Blackguard, and I had Corin Darkhand leading them, and he's 180 points. And I just thought, do you know what? I've never tried a special character before. I have a couple of times with the Beastmen, but this guy has 180 points. He's only got 2 wounds, but he's got a very interesting armor save, because if you it's only 5 or 6, but if you get a hit against him, that turns into a strength 5 hit against you. So that proved very useful in this battle. So these 30 Blackguard led by him basically got mowed down. 18 of them got mowed down in 1 round by the organ gun of his, and he had an engineer on it as well. So I mean, unbelievable how low costed that is for what it does. What in 1 shot it killed like 200 points worth. I mean even more. That Blackguard unit is worth 480 points. Okay, that's with a full command, but without Corin, and he shot more than half of them. So let's quickly call it 260 points in 1 round. That's twice its value in just 1 round of shooting, and it had more than 1 round of shooting, believe me. However, I did get them into combat, and they had a juicy combat against some double-handed weapon-wielding Dwarves, and that combat, because these guys being so stubborn and almost unbreakable with this character in them, it actually came down to Corin on his own holding the combat up until pretty much turn 6. And there was only 2 dwarves left after he died, which got mopped up afterwards. So I think he's a great choice, and Blackguard, phenomenal, as long as they don't get shot down. Really cool that was. And so what else? I had a Death Hag, and I put the Death Hag, who's my BSB, I put her with 24 Witch Elves, and my word, I gave her the Witch Brew. So my average Witch Elf had 3 attacks. 1 attack base. In fact, it had 4 attacks. 1 attack base, 1 attack additional hand weapon, another attack for Frenzy, and a 4th attack for Witch Brew. So 4 attacks, and they went into a bunch of who was it? They went into a bunch of dwarves as well. Mowed them down like you wouldn't believe. I mean, the only problem being is that against dwarves you're going to need 5 to wounds, but with poison, it kind of makes up for it a little bit. So those witch elves got gunned down a bit as well, but they actually survived till the end. A must-have, I'd say. The witch elves were phenomenal. And what else did I have? I had your 30 Blackheart Corsairs, and it's hard to say. They didn't get shot at all because there's obviously much better targets to shoot at. So that could be an advantage for them, really, because they got a 4-up armour save, Sea Dragon Cloak, and light armour, 2 hand weapons. They went into hand weapon shield dwarves, and I mean the dwarves rolled an 11 on a leadership test, and they fled. That was the only time I think Andy failed his dwarf leadership test, and when they do fail a leadership test, it's pretty brutal what can happen because they're low movement. I just mowed them straight down. So 360 points for the Blackheart Corsairs. So they're actually the second most expensive unit, and they survived. And the Death Hag, Death Hag in the Witch House was really good, really strong as well. Now, what do we come to next? Now I come to the fluff stuff, which these are the things that I just wanted to have a bit of fun with. And I chose a Bloodrack Shrine. It's a model I've got, and what I failed to realise was that because it's a chariot, it can't march, and its base movement is 5. So it's slower than a dwarf, and 175 points and only 5 wounds. Now let's break that down. 5 wounds. You've got 3 wounds for the Medusa that's on it, and it's got 2 shrine keepers, which are witch elf shrine keepers. So they've got 1 wound. So 5 wounds, and the actual chariot itself doesn't seem to have any wounds. Doesn't make sense to me. It got shot in round 3 or round 4. 1 cannonball, 6 hits, 6 wounds, killed it. It's only got 5 wounds. But no, it's got a 6-up armour save. That's a joke. No ward save. Just complete waste. I think I would have been better, and this is something I was speaking to Andy 2D6 about, of using the Blood Map Medusa on its own, because it's got like a movement 7. So I could have been moving 14 inch. So the Medusa can move almost 3 times what the Bloodrack Shrine can move in 1 round. Yeah, the Medusa moves 3 times, almost 3 times faster. I mean, that's a joke. The only advantage being that the Bloodrack Shrine's got a 12-inch stare, which does 4 wounds. Yet, I didn't even get close enough to any dwarves to do that, because the dwarves just stood right still. So that was disappointing, because it is an amazing model, and it's made me want to produce a new video, which is going to be things in Warhammer that you want to be good but aren't. And I think in the top 5's got to be the Bloodrack Shrine. So if anyone's watching this, could you please pop down in the comments any units in Warhammer you think are going to be good or they should be good, but they're shite. Next up, I had 15 Sisters of Slaughter, and these are the alternative to Witch Elves if you buy the box, and they've got whips, and they've shaven their heads, and their hair's been used for the whip, and they've got swords, and they look a bit like gladiators, but women, female gladiators. And these guys were awesome. I managed to get a flank charge into the side of some Iron Breakers, which, well, in some ways it's the worst unit to charge, in other ways it was the best, because these guys, they negate rank bonuses, and therefore these Iron Breakers could not get a parry save in the first round of combat, and that was really cool. And these guys managed to hold up the combat for 2 or 3 rounds. But 245 points for 15 of them. These guys are awesome. The only problem with them is the strength. Because, I mean, against dwarves with high armour saves, you're looking at 5 to wounds or 6 to wounds against any characters. And they're going to have armor save. So there's like a 25% chance of killing a dwarf. And again, the toughness 3 of the Fisted Sisters of Slaughters isn't really a big deal because they get this 4-up ward save in close combat, which was unbelievable. This worked so well, and had the sisters had a little bit of support, which they didn't get because the Black Guard were being butchered. I think they'd be a must-have unit. I think they're brilliant. Definitely use them again. And one thing I was telling Andy was that the Dark Elf army book is so full of awesome characters and awesome unit choices that you just can't have them all. And I would have liked to try Coal Run Riders, no room in this. I would like to try Dark Riders, no room in this list. Forget about Dark Shards, Dark Spears, and Dark Swords, because there's so much other great stuff. Why would you ever want to take those sort of boring list? I've got 5 Doomfire Warlocks, and across the board, everyone thinks these are great, and I'd have to agree. These were really, really, really good. With a 4-up ward save, charging down the flanks, he had some 10 Dwarf Thunderers and 10 Iron Drakes, which concentrated their fire on these guys, and they survived that. Be able to cast a couple of Doom Bolts, which were scrolled, and he rolled to stop those spells, to be fair. And they were pretty good in combat. There just wasn't enough of them. 5 is not enough of them. I mean, if you want to be nasty, go for the 10, because they're really good in combat. 2 attacks. They've got the 4-up ward save. And one thing we weren't sure about was whether you could cast a magic missile spell into combat. So if anyone listening to that, maybe you could put me right on that. So I had a Reaper Bolt Thrower, 70 points. I think it just about reclaimed its points back. I mean, against dwarves, there's nothing big to shoot at. So you're looking at using the strength for 6 bolts per turn. I mean, the great thing about it is its range. 48-inch range is really good. Yeah, I'd take the Reaper Bolt Thrower again. I would. And so there you go. I mean, you probably want to know now, because you probably don't want to watch the 2.5 hour version that me and Andy 2D6 did live. So this is a sort of condensed summary of it. But it was a really good battle, and in the end I kept something like 980 points and he kept something like 950 points. So it was as close to a draw as you'd ever get, and it was a great battle. It went all the way to turn 6. Star players, Core and Dark Hand, stayed until the very end. Supreme Sorcerers, didn't need her really. To be fair, I didn't need her at all. I mean, 300 points. I could have got a unit of executioners in there, couldn't I? So Anyway, thanks for watching. I just thought I'd get some content up there for once, and if you're painting or whatnot, or just you're cooking some food or whatever, I hope you're having a great day. Today's Black Friday, and I did plan on avoiding town, but I've just spent the last 2 hours driving through it. Black Friday in England is when everyone goes out shopping, because there's some sales on or something. So anyway, hope you got some bargains. I don't think Games Workshop will be having any sales anytime soon, but whatever. Take care, God bless. Thanks for listening. Bye.